Here's a quick look at the Indian markets. A day after registering the biggest fall of 2019, Indian markets have continued their downward march towards today as well. And discouraged by the budget proposals, the market sentiment has been negative so far. This comes at a time when weakness in global markets and discovery of a fresh fraud at PNB have also dampened investor sentiments. Indian markets have been in red since the market opening today, with both Sensex and Nifty extending losses. Sensex and Nifty are down by around 0.5% since morning. Budget proposals to raise the minimum public shareholding of listed companies to 35%, a 20% tax on stock buybacks, and an increase in the surcharge on high-income earners are weighing on stocks and affect returns of investors. Indian stock market witnessed a sharp correction on Monday, with the benchmark indices S&P, BSE, Sensex and Nifty 50 tumbling over 2% each. The indices saw their biggest one-day fall in 4 years amid across-the-board sell-off. Speaking of the markets and taxes, US President Donald Trump's tax returns have figured prominently in many political controversies over the last few years. Now, the state of New York has passed a legislation that might just make his returns available to the Congress. Governor Andrew Cuomo has given his consent to an amendment to the state's tax law, an amendment which would require the Department of Taxation and Finance to share income tax returns upon request. Requests from 3 congressional committees will have to be honored as per the new amendment. These are the House Ways and Means Committee, the Senate Finance Committee, and the Joint Committee on Taxation. Now, the Ways and Means Committee is controlled by the Democrats, and they could very well lay their hands on Trump's state tax returns. Democrats have always maintained that Trump's income returns would reveal details of his debts and international dealings. But strangely enough, popular opinion suggests that the Congress might not actually go after Trump's state tax returns, as it would trigger a constitutional crisis. The legislation is being described as more of a check than an actual measure. Democrats are squarely aiming for the president's federal tax returns, something that still remains unavailable. Now, in a move that is unlikely to sit well with China, the U.S. State Department has approved a $2.2 billion arms deal with Taiwan. The deal involves the sale of 108 M1 Abrams tanks and 250 Stinger missiles, weapons that were specifically requested by Taiwan. According to Pentagon's Defense Security Cooperation Agency, the deal will not impact the military balance of the region. And beyond the 2 major weapons, ammunitions, armored vehicles and machine guns are also part of the deal. China had in fact asked the US to not go ahead with the deal and called it an extremely sensitive and damaging decision. China, of course, claims Taiwan to be its renegade province and has never ruled out military force in reclaiming it. It also asked the US to abide by the One China policy and not interfere in its affairs. This is not the first instance of military dealings between US and Taiwan. In fact, US is Taiwan's largest supplier of military equipment, something that has always irked China. Since 2010, the US has sold more than $15 billion worth of arms to Taiwan. The military balance between Taiwan and China has become lopsided with the latter's modernization drive, and this has made Taiwan more dependent on the United States for its military needs.